The U.S. Supreme Court upheld the Oklahoma State Supreme Court decision on the proposed personhood initiative. The lower court ruled the measure would place an unconstitutional ban on abortion. Supporters of the initiative have sought to get signatures of 155,000 registered voters to put the question on a November 6th ballot. Proponents say the Oklahoma court undermined the process and denied residents the right to vote on the measure. The proposal would define human life as beginning at conception and grant all rights, including due process, to those meeting the definition. The Oklahoman's Chris Castile joins us now with more on the Supreme Court ruling. Thank you so much for joining me.
Sure, absolutely, Angie.
Now, what does this mean going forward? Will supporters try and craft another proposal similar to the personhood initiative?
You know, they may try. I mean, I think that I'm not sure, Angie, how they would go about getting past the same hurdle, that they ran into in May with the Oklahoma Supreme Court. What they did was, they crafted a ballot initiative that, as you said, would define human life, personhood, beginning at, the conception, fertilization of the egg, and then grant all the rights under the Constitution to any, whoever meets that definition. Well, whenever you have a ballot initiative in Oklahoma and you go out and collect signatures for, put it on the ballot, the state attorney general has to put it into plain language, and in this case, Attorney General Scott Pruitt did so, and in his office added a line saying that this would put effective limits banning abortion. And so the groups challenged this immediately, challenged the ballot petition in court. There's a expedited process for the Oklahoma Supreme Court to review ballot petitions because they're time sensitive, and the court essentially ruled that this isn't going to pass the U.S. constitutional muster. There's no point in voting on this thing. And that's essentially the question that went to the U.S. Supreme Court that was decided on today. Wasn't abortion. It was, did the Oklahoma Supreme Court properly review the petition, and did it have the authority to deny, a chance to vote on it, deny the right to vote on it? Well, the court in the past has given states that have initiative petitions pretty broad latitude to police and regulate their own process. So it wasn't a huge surprise. The U.S. Supreme Court today, without comment, declined to take an appeal to what the Oklahoma Supreme Court did. And you're asking, well, do they start it up all over again? Well, I think if they have said that they would. They said today they'll start over again, but they run into the exact same hurdle. How do you get a question on a state ballot that's unconstitutional? But they're trying the same thing in other states, and ultimately, really, I think what this personhood movement wants is they just want one state to pass it, get it challenged, get it to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's all they need, because that's what they want is, for the U.S. Supreme Court to actually review the question of abortion again. Again, really what the court declined to hear today was whether the Oklahoma Supreme Court was right to deny this petition process to go forward. That's a separate issue. It wasn't really on abortion. And that's what the personhood people want is a chance for the U.S. Supreme Court to actually review a case on abortion itself, on personhood. A long answer to your question.
No, that's okay. Obviously, lots of information from Chris Castile on this subject. It's a very controversial subject, so if you want to know more, go to newsok.com and the news section, and then click on the tab for elections and politics and all of that. Chris keeps you up to date on everything local and national, and many of our reporters do as well. So check out that page. Chris, thank you so much.
All right, Angie, thank you.